The end of day five, and a traitor has been caught and banished from my castle. The remaining traitors have played a wonderful game of deception, avoiding elimination at the round tables. They have eliminated one of their own, but was it a skillful move or a misstep in their strategy? And now, tonight, they must decide between committing a murder or choosing to offer a faithful role in their team. Let's bring them in and see how they are feeling.
What up, what up?
Hello.
How are
God.
you?
Wonderful. How are you?
Good, good. You ready to get down to business?
I'm 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 very ready. I've been looking at all these names and just it Matt, I don't want to jinx us. I don't. I really want to jinx this, but like
You may be able to make
I
it to the end. Yeah.
I, I think we're in a really good spot right now.
So here's the thing. Before we get to the end, there's a couple things that we have to take care of. One thing, we have to make sure Patrice is getting so much suspicion on himself that we can get him next round. He's doing a really good job right now doing that. So uh, he was throwing out his name, Brandon, and Brad as well. He was kind of throwing out. He's been like kind of flip flopping with
Which is
Brad.
really funny because I just asked Brad. I'm like, "Hey Brad, can I pick your brain about something?" Do you think that any way that Patrice was planting the seeds last round so that we can banish Brandon tonight? Because Patrice is already making the statement like, oh, the four of us can get to the end, me, Brad, Anthony, and Brad.
Yeah,
And Brad said some things, and I don't think Brad's gonna ever over Patrice.
yeah,
So
yeah.
if
He's not. He's not.
so we have to do without Brad. So we gotta look at those numbers too.
Yep. So here's my thinking tonight. I think the best three people that we could possibly murder. I feel like it would have to be. Oh,
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Well,
All right, so we're
before
ready.
you get there, so welcome, traders. With Melissa done tonight, you will decide whether to recruit a new member of your team or murder a player from the game. An important piece of information that I want to share with you, though, first. Earlier on day five, it was revealed to me by Stick that the game had been compromised as she had gotten together with Melissa, and despite being told not to talk about the game together, they did. And Stick said she asked Melissa questions about the game, and though Melissa did not tell her she was a traitor, Stick felt she could tell who the traitors were, including Melissa, just from Melissa's facial expressions. And she said that she had to be honest and that she needed to be removed from the game.
wow.
What you do with that, if anything, is up to you. I can confirm that no one currently in the game knows this information, and Stick has been instructed to not talk to anyone. To be clear, had Melissa been here, I would have also stated this information and let you decide how to navigate the game with the info that she had broken her traitor's oath. But she is gone. So, how are you feeling about the elimination of a traitor tonight?
I think just with the information you provided us with, we made the right choice. Absolutely.
I agree. I don't think that I think Matt and I both kind of were on the same page. I don't want to say since the very beginning, but I think after a day or two, I think me and Matt both were kind of like, I think we know what's going to happen here in the next couple of nights. So
Hmm.
it just kind of supports that, and yeah, I'm glad that it happened.
Well, I will want you guys to talk. But before we do, just a couple questions. How are you feeling with each other, and how do you feel about getting through the next few days now that you can see a traitor can actually be eliminated from the game?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about this guy right here. I wouldn't have asked for a better partner in crime. Daniel, I think we're like we have a way to get to the end. It's just getting the right people out at the right moment. I definitely think giving Patrice the floor tonight is the best. Have him kind of be the one leading the whole Brandon charge, getting him out, you know. Uh, and from there, we obviously have a couple people that are on our side. I'm gonna be honest. I think Anthony is a great person to keep in the game for both me and you. He might even be our way to the end because you guys made nice. He loves you now, and he is 100% trusting me. So, and Anthony can corroborate a lot, if not all, of the suspicions I can throw on Patrice because Anthony was a part of a lot of it.
Mhm.
So that's kind of my. I want to hear what you have to say, though, Daniel.
I agree that me and Anthony are good now. The only thing I'm worried about is that so Brad and Patrice definitely were talking because they both messaged me saying, "Hey, would you be okay with starting a group chat with the other person?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course." We were talking, and Patrice, of course, said, "Oh, should we bring in a fourth?" And I didn't want to be the one to obviously say you because I don't want them to say anything. And I mean, long story short, it was between you or Anthony. And has said a couple of times that we can make it to the end, this and that. Like, how many days? Oh, we got this, yada yada. And
Beautiful
I just feel like,
music to my ears.
yes, I feel like that. And then once Brad finds out that Patrice is throwing his name out, I think that we can definitely get it towards Patrice. And if it's not tonight, it'll be tomorrow or Thursday, and
Eh,
Patrice will
Yeah.
not reveal if what it is or not. And so I think that it'll just be good. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still worried a little bit about Jonathan. So depending on what happens tonight, if he goes or not, or if he goes after, I'm just a little worried about him with the comments that he made yesterday.
So I'm so glad. I don't. So I don't know if I mentioned this to you yet, but Patrice also made another group of 4 people. It's with myself, Jonathan. I'm sorry, not Jonathan. Myself, Anthony, Victoria, and and Patrice. So we could definitely blow his spot up. Not tonight, but come the next night and really just be like, listen, you're in all these cookie jars. You're literally everywhere. You're like herpes right now. You're giving a little bit to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's going to be what folds. It's going to be too much because on paper, you and I, Daniel, aren't really talking. You
Mhm.
know, we're not really, people aren't linking us up. So if I'm chiming in and then you're also chiming in, what's your perspective on that group? He's everywhere.
Mhm.
That's what a trader would do. And
Mhm.
everything that happened in between, like the Adam vote and
Mhm.
with Melissa, it
Yep.
all ties together.
It will make sense. Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I don't totally agree. Yep.
Um, so I do want to remind you that there are possible shields in play tonight to talk about as well. And I do want to also remind you that there is $83 in the pot, which is $41 for each of you, unless one of you is treacherous traitor and could walk away with it all.
Nah.
That said, I would like you to evaluate the at least 3 players remaining in any order and explain why you might murder them tonight and why you might not murder them tonight. And also, the other way, which 3 players you might potentially recruit to join you as a traitor. I'm going to give you about 15 minutes to check.
Okay. Let's talk about the recruitments first. That'll be
Sounds
quick.
good.
So obviously, like a first pick for me would be Anthony. He'd be a great option to bring in as a trader, and he won't need to like be stressed or anything because we can
Mhm.
handle that for him.
Yep.
We've been doing it this whole time,
Yep.
so he just has
Obvi-
to follow along.
And honestly, with Anthony, I think that aside from all of that, I would love to see his face when we turn our cameras on. He sees us.
He's gonna be blown away. The
Yeah.
only con I see is people sussing him out. That's
Yeah.
it, because
Yeah.
he is very expressive, very telling. You
Yeah.
can tell he's genuine.
Yeah. 100%.
Um, I would say you want to say a name,
Jonathan,
Jonathan.
I
Yes,
feel like Jonathan is so smart, and I think that if anything, even if whatever happens tonight, I think he would be taken out before us. I feel like, he'd be taken out before us.
yeah. He's a big player still, and
Yeah.
he Jonathan, and I feel so bad saying this. Jonathan really actually doesn't know what's going on. Like he is smart, he is
Mhm.
perceptive, but he's so off
Mhm.
on everything. But I
Yeah.
got him on the Patrice thing right now,
Mhm.
so that may be something that he's interested in, being a
Yeah.
trader. My only
He
worry
he
with him,
openly said he wants to be recruited, and I believe Patrice and Brad heard that because one of them brought it up
okay,
in our messages. So if we by any chance do end up killing someone with the shield, and no one,
Yeah,
and they might think it is him.
absolutely. Uh, third name, Victoria. What
I
do you
think
think?
Victoria would be good.
Victoria would be good. Victoria would be good. I feel like she would just have to stay the same as she is.
Yeah.
No change, and I think she would do that well. And
Mhm.
she can carry herself on the round table.
Yeah. Oh
She's
yeah,
already
100%. People kept
yeah.
saying she was quiet, but like when she started speaking about the round table, I'm like, you go, Victoria. Like you tell
That's
them
when I
off.
realized I needed her as an ally.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't want to go against her. I feel like I'd talk too fast and I would just fumble, and I think she wouldn't like me.
So those are like the three people for recruitments, possibly.
For
Let's talk,
kills,
let's talk about the murders. This is the good stuff.
yes.
So, one name I wanted to throw out, Caleb. The only reason why I feel like Caleb's kind of like Switzerland right now, kind of neutral. I feel about him, but there is a narrative going around that there may be one traitor left, and they may have to do an ultimatum recruitment.
Mhm.
So, if the narrative is Brandon's a traitor, then who's to say he wouldn't get Caleb, who is his
Yeah.
friend, to be it? And Caleb is like, no, I've been rocking with the faithfuls. I don't
Mhm.
want to, and then he dies.
Yeah.
So that could be something we could run with. It kind
Mhm.
of heightens up Brandon, puts more of the focus on him, and I know Patrice is going to run with that too.
Yeah. 100%.
Only con of murdering him. Oh, you know what? There's a con to murdering him because he mentioned you last night.
Mhm.
So that's a
I
little.
I don't know. I feel like if he had mentioned me in a way that was just, I don't know. I just feel like he didn't have any evidence against me. I feel like he just, oh, I just want to point, a couple of names haven't really been brought up. Dana, you're one of them. And I told him that was fair. Like, I get it. I don't know. I feel like they would think it'd be too obvious that I would kill him.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's one name. Do you have a second name?
you know, I, I don't want to say Anthony, but I feel like for some reason Anthony would be a good person to kill. Um, on a personal level, I do want to keep him. Love the guy. He's a great guy, but I don't know. I think killing him would leave Patrice and Brad talking and wondering why he specifically was killed. Um, and if he's good with us too, or if they're good with us too, maybe think that somebody from the other side is trying to like lower our numbers on this side. So,
He's expecting it. So Anthony and I actually had a really good conversation today.
mm,
And he basically gave me a little tidbit of information. So basically, you can't share this. So Anthony had told Jonathan that he had the mystery shield. So Patrice had found out about it, and Patrice was
wait,
upset.
Patrice found out that Anthony told Jonathan, or Patrice found out that Anthony had it.
Patrice found out that Anthony had it.
Got it.
Now, obviously, Anthony had his reasons for telling Jonathan, and I get it. He didn't tell anybody else because obviously, in that kind of a situation, you're not going to tell anybody else because Jonathan had already told him not to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Patrice had found out that Anthony had gotten the shield, and Patrice had gotten super upset at Anthony because he didn't tell him. He's like, "Why wouldn't you tell me that you have the shield?"
Gotcha.
So instantly, Anthony was like, "That's traitor vibes.
Yeah.
A traitor would be a faithful wouldn't have really cared. It's
Yeah.
like, I get it. I get why you
Yeah.
didn't tell me because I could be a traitor."
Yeah.
So that stuck out to him. So Anthony did give me that tidbit information in the case that he was murdered tonight.
That is wonderful.
It is, but I know I can't bring it up tonight because
No, for sure.
his role is going to be revealed.
And Jonathan knows that Anthony. Wait, so does Jonathan know that Patrice is upset about it?
I don't know if Jonathan knows that. I don't think Anthony talked to. Anthony didn't mention that he talked to Jonathan about
It'd
that.
be so nice as if he knew.
So, but again, Jonathan has a lot of information.
Mhm.
So that was actually going to be my next name for possible murder. Yeah, we're taking a risk because he has. I think it's Jonathan and Brad that potentially have a shield.
Yeah,
Because Melissa got.
the last
So
one. Yeah, because Jonathan
basically,
did. Yeah.
it could be that he has a shield, but we would. I feel like the risk is not as high as the reward of getting
Hmm.
Jonathan out because that's such a
Hmm.
serious kill.
Yeah. And at the
And
end of the day, if he does stay in, I think it's fine because everybody might
yeah,
think it's recruitment happening. So I think we'll be okay either way.
yeah, and he's gonna corroborate a lot of Anthony's sus too,
Hmm.
because him and Jonathan have been talking a lot about certain
Hmm.
things that like the connections. So the
Yeah.
conversation that I had yesterday, I think it was yesterday, with Jonathan, it changed how he trusts me completely. He
Hmm.
said 100%, I think you're faithful.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the things that I had mentioned connected the dots for him.
Yeah. He
So
he did tell me he felt better about you after that conversation. He said he didn't want to bring up exactly what you wanted
yeah,
to say, and I was like, no, that's fine. Like I totally get that. Like, um, but yeah, anyway, go ahead.
so what I've been driving a lot with people too is assuming that Stick was a traitor. Because assuming Stick was a traitor, then a lot of things would make sense in regards to like Stick coming out in the main chat and being like, "Oh, we're not gonna like." Basically, we didn't mention our friendship not because we're a traitor or whatever, because Patrice was the one that mentioned that to Melissa, who then let Stick know. It's a chain of connection there, and
Wow, I
then
didn't know that.
and then after that happened, Patrice had, because you remember I told you we had that four-person chat with me,
Yeah.
Brad, not Brad, me, Adam, Anthony, and Patrice. After that had gotten mentioned, Patrice was basically shutting it down. He was like, I don't want to waste the roundtable time focusing on a friendship that's possibly irrelevant to the game. That was his exact words. And if Anthony's alive, he can literally like attest with me with that.
Mhm.
That would seal it for Patrice. I'm telling you,
That's
there's so many dots that can be connected.
yeah, yeah.
So
And that's a lot of people who would vote for him.
absolutely, Brad.
Mhm.
Brad right now is holding out. He's like, I don't think it's Patrice, but I
But I
know
think once
he
Brad
knows
hears all this, and I
it's
think
so
when he kept me
much.
messaging earlier, I think he would go for it.
Yep, yep. And then, like I said, I throw stuff out there. He's gonna defend, and then that's when you can jump in and be like, well, actually, Patrice, you are in a lot of groups because I personally, and then you just do your thing.
Mhm.
Like, but that can't happen tonight. It's the
No,
only.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think it's going to be or it's going to be Brandon, possibly Caleb tonight. I don't know. I think it really is going to hinge on who we choose to murder, and
Yeah.
that's going to lock it in.
Yeah, and I will say Patrice is pushing hard on Brandon, but Anthony, me and Brad, or I guess more me and Anthony have been saying like, oh, like I definitely agree with you, but let's see what happens. We want to hear what Brandon has to say
Yeah,
because if Brandon is believable to everybody, you have to go off of what happens.
and him getting banished tonight would be amazing because he's obviously a faithful.
And we wouldn't have to murder him. Yeah.
Everyone's looking. They're like, wait, what?
Where'd this all come
Again,
from?
again, we fucked up. Again, we
Hmm.
fucked up because we
Hmm.
allowed misdirection to happen. That's
Hmm.
it. So we have a path. We just got to
Hmm.
put the pieces where they need to go.
Yep. I
You know what
agree.
I'm saying? We got this, Daniel.
I know, man. I feel good, man. I think we'll be good.
Yo, we're smooth criminals. No one's gonna
Hmm.
see it coming. I'm telling you,
Yeah. It's
it's so good
just
right now.
it's just insane. Like like I'm looking at these and I literally went through like every person. I'm like, what happens if this person's murdered? What would this person think? And it just I don't know. I don't it just feels really it feels so good to be true, to be honest. Like I'm a little nervous, but I I think uh I think we're good.
Yeah, and anything can happen.
Yeah.
Again, who we decide to murder. If it is Jonathan, he could have a shield. Anything can really happen. There's still a lot of uncertainty in the game.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the seer ability. That
Hmm.
could definitely come into play next round. We don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm terrified, man. I'm so scared that someone's gonna
Because it would
pick.
also make sense because now when we banish somebody, their role won't be revealed.
Mhm.
So it would make sense that there's
Yeah.
a seer
Yeah.
power because it won't be like a person could be like, I know for a fact they're that role,
Yeah.
but we can't confirm it when they get
Yeah.
voted out. So
I don't know about you, but I don't want anything to do with the seer power. One, obviously, I don't want anybody to know my role, but on the other hand, I feel like if I have it, see, in the US season 3, when Gabby got it and
mhm.
then asked Brittany, Brittany obviously was a traitor, and Gabby told people whatever, and they trusted Gabby. but I just feel like they trusted her from before. I'm just nervous that like if I get it and I ask Patrice or Brad if they're still in the game, I don't know, a little part of me is feeling people are gonna be like, like wouldn't you wanna pick someone who you thought was a traitor? I don't know. I just yeah, I'm really I know Phil's listening. Phil, if you get the seer power, I'm a little nervous and I'm just gonna say a little
I
prayer.
think I think we win it and we use it on somebody that we want to just make sure is an ally.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
I
It
would
just
I
it
would
just makes me nervous, but
I would argue it. I'll be like, no, I just want to make sure I know who I'm going to the end with.
yeah.
And that's why I chose you, Anthony, or chose you, Daniel, who I know are faithful now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's it. We just got to make sure that shit stays with us because
hmm
if it's not,
Yeah, 100%. Yep. Yeah.
so do you have anything else, man? Like, what do you think?
No, I don't. I'm really excited for today. I really want to know what happens. I really want to know if the person that we're going to murder actually dies. I want to know what they're going to think about it. I want to know what happens with Brandon and Patrice. And it's scary to think that like today's we only have 2 days after this.
Yeah,
And I don't, I re like, I really, really don't believe that either of us are going tonight. And so if someone does die, someone gets banished. That's 7 people left. And that just, because nine, murder, banish, dead. No, that's six next time then going in after somebody. Yeah, that's it. Just
yeah,
it's just nerve-wracking. But I think
yeah.
we're good.
I think so.
Well, right. Viewers, we are going to find out. It sounds like they might be going murder, but who knows? We will find out what they're going to do and who it will be directed towards. Find out at the start of day 6.